Greetings and salutations, how's everyone doing? So we're back looking at episodes of, films, in this case, the most recent Hellboy film. In this case, Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Which is based off the, actual, graphic, the Crooked Man, comic line from Mike Mignola, who actually wrote it. The film was actually written both him, Mike Mignola, and as well as Brian Taylor. And compared to the previous two, attempts of Hellboy, this one is trying to have more of a. This one is trying to be more of a horror film.
Tiny bit of Brady here. And Tommy, I never forgot. He asked me to give you a present. Brady don't look like much. I've been riding him pretty hard every night since you left. Guess he pretty near wore out.
Curse you, Ethel! Curse you!
And less, fantasy or more action. Because, it goes back to it, say, okay, Hellboy is a detective. He is always discovering some weird shit and all that. And what happened to them? Well, Hellboy and a fellow BRD agent end up getting lost in the Appalachian Mountains after they have a giant spider that ends up getting going loose.
Is it in a more controlled setting?
Damn it, you're not hearing that?
Hellboy, you okay? What's happening here?
Oh my God!
And then eventually they end up discovering, hey, a local community in Appalachia is being held, held will be the word, spiritually by a individual known as the Crooked Man. And I gotta say, yes, this film has a lower budget compared to all the other Hellboy films. But at the same time, the film also decides to say, hey, we are going to do a lot of the things practically. And that's not saying that some of the previous Hellboy films didn't do things practically. But I really think that the film does a good job of having Hellboy be, in this film, be a BR detective or agent who was say, okay, because the film takes place in the 1950s. So at the same time, it's a bit of a period piece.
On the way up here, you mentioned you saw the devil.
Some 15 years ago, about a mile from this very spot, I come upon a stream, and there she was. No, not the devil. Close enough. Her name was Effie Kolb.
And yes, say, you have some of dialect from, a period and all that. And it's say, at the same time, I'm gonna say, I really like the fact that, instead of it more they're doing a more contained story. Just focusing on one comic storyline from it, and not really trying to say, okay, now we're going to focus on this and all that. Yeah, one of the things I really kind of like about it is that I love the makeup for this film. I think that especially for the makeup for Hellboy and as well as the Crooked Man, it looks really good. Especially in the sequence in which the Crooked Man shows up outside of a church, in a way, and he's just say, Like, now I'll be making a deal with you there. Now I'll be making a deal with you, Tom Farrell.
I don't think so. See, I don't like this deal. You want it too bad, and that makes me not want you to have it. Go on inside, Tom.
And all that. I think the actor who was playing, who plays the Crooked Man / Jeremiah Witkins, Martin Finsdale, he does a really good job. He is giving the performance of a, like, say, okay, you are selling your ass off. You are performing your butt off, man. You are doing a good job. And I think I kind of like the fact, there are some different characters, like, say, character like Cora Fisher, Effie Kolb. Yes, I can understand someone say, like, they probably say, like, well, there has some issues. Like, say, some of the CGI, like, there's sequences, like, say, a giant crow and all that.
Wow.
It can be, like, say, well, that seems very crazy after Hellboy gets bitten by a snake and he starts to have, like, a bit of a trip and all that. And yeah, I gotta say the most, like, say, whoa, is the sequence in which Hellboy is at the church, and, like, all the folks are being brought back to life from the Crooked Man. Like, yeah, they're all coming back. He's just, all the folks in the community are just chanting along with him. It looks really good. I like the fact, this would be kind of a film where I would criticize it because of the lighting. But they decide to say, yeah, we are going to try to go as natural with our lighting as we can. And I really respect that. It's not like lighting where it's like I can barely see anything, but it's lighting where, yes, it is dark, but at the same time, it feels the mood in a way. But at the same time, I gotta say the biggest moment of, like, say, yes, now that is really good. Like, there's a sequence in which, like, Hellboy is, like, he's finally gives the killing blow for the Crooked Man, or Jerem, and he's just, like, say, like, okay, now, goodbye to you, good sir.
And this witch,
No, I ain't.
you burn, both of ya, like Cora Fisher burns, like your witch mother burns.
That's all for you.
And all that. Because I think this film is relatively good. I like the fact that they decided to say, we're not going to do the fantasy route, we're not going to do the action route, we're going to do a standalone story with horror elements. Like, almost Evil Dead vibes. And I can really see, like, as the years go by, I can see this film perhaps getting a bigger fan base. I can really see this happening. And yeah, I can see, like, if they're gonna do more Hellboy films, I could see, like, if they were wanting to do more like this, films with lower budget, but at the same time they're going to try to squeeze every little bit of the penny to give us great performances and still give us a film that has good makeup, good practical effects, and all that. At least I think so. Yes, I understand someone going to say, well, that spider or that snake Yes, they may not look the best, but you get the idea. It's not like, say, suddenly I'm watching like a film from the asylum or something like that. I don't get that vibes. Because some folks have been criticizing the CGI, but I'm gonna say, like, yeah, I'm not gonna say this is awful. Because yes, I've seen so many films that I can say, yeah, like, insert film, I've seen worse, in a way. But yeah, I thought this one wasn't too bad. I thought this was perhaps better than Hellboy, the last Hellboy film, and I like the fact it was trying to be more of a horror film and more of a condensed story. And I do kind of like the ending of when Hellboy is trying to get rid of the boss, and his fellow detective uh, agent, Bobby, she is trying to do her own little side stories, like trying to get the spider back.
I got the cargo back. Nice field work, right? Besides, I wasn't down there by myself. I was with the Reverend the whole time. Never would have gotten out of there without him.
So, yeah. See you next time.